Hey, welcome back. The dungeon's around here somewhere. Number six. Is it up here? Yeah. I was gonna talk about going to the Mets game. Some interesting things, I guess, could come out of this topic. On Tuesday, I wanted to go see the Met game because I wanted to see the greatest pitcher ever, Jacob deGrom. He's pitching on Tuesday. So I bought tickets for me and my parents to go see Jacob deGrom pitch on Tuesday. And I waited until Sunday because the worst thing ever when you go to the baseball game is for it to get rained out, or if Jacob deGrom is like, they move him like, oh, he's not going to pitch today, he's going to pitch Wednesday. So I waited till Sunday and like, okay, everything's perfect. Weather's perfect. deGrom's going to pitch. Then Tuesday morning, the weather changed. And then it's like, oh, there might be like some scattered thunderstorms, but it's not going to be too bad. What do I do here? And then guess what happened? It started raining at 7 o'clock and it didn't stop till like 11, and then they canceled. So we were there at the stadium at like 7:30, and they were like, oh, it'll probably start at 8:30. Then we were there at 8:30 and they're like, oh, it'll probably start at 9:30. Because usually what happens is either it's canceled or it's not. They'll tell you. But they're like, oh, we're going to try to get it in. So we waited there for 3 hours and then they canceled it. Which doesn't usually happen, but it's kind of a bummer. So then I never really had to deal with that before. So I didn't know what to do. Because the tickets are only good for, I guess I have to buy a key because that's stupid. Oh, I know what to do. I'm not gonna waste that key this time. Oh. It was a whole social anxiety adventure to have to. Tuesday was fine. Because it was just like, I went with my parents, my dad drove. It's like normal. I went to the game, and the only difference is that I didn't play. But then Tuesday night and like Wednesday morning, I got kind of stressed because I'm like, oh, what do I do? Do I have to exchange the tickets? Do I have to go? It seems like online it says like you have to go to the game. They rescheduled it for Wednesday afternoon, but I have to work. Could I call in out for work? What do I do? Like, but then what if I lose the tickets? Like, my parents paid like $80 for these tickets. I don't want them to waste their money. So, I called out of work and I went to the game Tuesday afternoon at 2 o'clock by myself because my parents couldn't go. And that was weird. I never went to anything like that by myself. I've been to a movie by myself. Baseball game was actually kind of fine because nobody sat next to me. I think if someone sat next to me and they were like really talkative, that would have made me nervous, but it was just me by myself, and like I could put my feet up and there's nobody in front of me, there's nobody behind me. And it was just like nice, like you're watching TV except like the game's right in front of you. That's pretty cool to like look at. There's a Jake. He's right there. Jake deGrom. He's like 100 feet away from me. 200 feet. Yeah, 300 feet. He's like right there though. Look at him. He's pitching. He's pitching for me because I'm watching him. And then he got 1,500 strikeouts in his career, and then everybody's clapping. And he's like, oh, and he's pitching. And then nobody will care about this except me, but I got to see a walk-off hit, which is pretty cool. I've only ever been to like 10 games in my life, but I've never seen a walk-off. It's pretty cool. If you don't know anything about baseball, a walk-off, it would be interesting to explain it to somebody who never, but I guess that's not most people. I think most people know what a walk-off hit is, but I'll explain it. In baseball, you get runs. The team with the most runs wins. But baseball doesn't work on a time like football, where like when the clock runs out, the game's over. It works on innings. So just to be simple, let's say like you get 3 batters per inning. I gotta get that time. Okay. So after the 3 batters, well, let's just say the inning's over. Then the other team comes up. So there's 9 innings, and each team gets 3 batters per inning, kind of. They get 3 outs, but whatever. And so if you're super smart, you can see that there's a possibility that if you're down by, well, let's say the game was tied like it was, or no, they were down by 1 run. It was 3-4, or it was 2-3. Is this the end already? I didn't even get the map or anything. Oh. I'm gonna die. Oh, he's coming. Ah, what happens? So it was the bottom of the, it's like the bottom of the 9th. And the Mets are down 2 runs, the bases are loaded. And they get a hit that scores 2 runs. So the game's over. I don't know, I didn't really explain it well. But that's what a walk-off means. It's like you score 2 runs and then it's over. The game's over because you won. But it's kind of an uncommon thing. First of all, it can only happen in a home game because it can only happen in the bottom of an inning, and the bottom of an inning only happens at home. That's just the way it is. When you're on the road, you play in the top. You hit in the top, and when you're on the road, you hit at the bottom. This is boring. Get back to the anxiety stuff. But I got to see a walk-off hit. And the important thing is, like, I was, like, jumping up and down, and I was like, he's safe. Because it was a close play at the plate, kind of, and he was almost out, but he slid in and he was safe, and everybody was jumping, and Jeff McNeil was, like, everybody was tackling him because he won the game. His first ever walk-off hit, and everybody was celebrating. Oh, it's so crazy. We're so happy. So they were playing a doubleheader, and I did something like kind of impulsive, which I guess is good because I don't usually do. But I was just like, I'm gonna buy a ticket to the second game because like I was on such a high because we freaking did it. So I just stayed there. The second game started at 7. The first game started at 2. There we go. Oh, it's a mini boss, I think. The second game they lost, but whatever. But it was the same thing. I got seats, like good seats, because it's just me. So I paid like $30, and it was pretty good seats, because nobody wanted to go to that game. And I sat in the 11th row for $30. I was like, okay, I gotta buy these tickets. I was already there, so I didn't have to pay like extra for parking or anything, so it's pretty cool. And it was nice. But I was by myself, so that's why I'm doing like a lot of these things. But they're not really very social. Oh, no, don't take my sword. Oh, did you take my shield? Oh, no, okay. Well, I didn't gain any. I mean, when I went to the baseball game, that was just for me. That was just like a me thing. Like, I want to do this. It's gonna be fun. But I didn't have any social anxiety growth. I didn't gain any social anxiety points that day. But I guess if my social anxiety was really bad, maybe I just wouldn't have gone, because I would have been like, I don't want to be around people. So many people. That was the first time I've ever been around. It's so weird. Have you guys been around people since the pandemic? Like, without masks, and there was like 15,000 people there or something. And they were walking around, and they were right there. I was people watching a little bit. I guess that's kind of a thing I want to talk about. Because, like, I don't know. I mean, the games were exciting, but there's downtime, like, between innings where you're just, like, hearing people talk and you're just kind of looking at them and being like, oh, what's up with that guy? There's a lot of families, a lot of couples. I guess it's a big thing for couples to do, because like so many couples there, like young, like my age kind of. There was one who sat kind of close to me, and when I was at the second game, there was one to the left, one to the right, and one in front of me. Like couples my age. I guess it's a thing. Maybe it's not like this, but in my mind, it's like a thing where a dude's like, I'm gonna teach you about baseball, and then you go to the game. He's like, this is how a hit it works, or something. I don't know. They were good though. They didn't do that. I remember a couple times I've been to a game, and like a guy was explaining to a girl like how baseball works, and I don't like that, because like the girls because they're pretending kind of like to be dumb, to make the guy like sound smart, or like, I don't know. Does that make sense? That's happened. I think the last time I went to a game that happened, where the girl was like, "Ooh, what's that mean? Like, why is everybody excited?" And he's like, "Oh, that's a double, so that means there's two bases." And she's like, "Oh, you're so smart." I'm stupid. I have to beat this dragon again? No. Okay, good. This is still hard, though. They don't give you hearts, really. Where do I go? Where do I go? Where do I go? So people watching. Who did I see? There was a guy behind me. There's like these two older guys, and they were I don't know, it just struck me how boring their conversation was. They were just like, "Oh, how's your kids?" I guess I got the impression like they hadn't seen each other for a long time, and they were like, "Hey, it's good to see you. Like, it's nice to get an excuse like to see you at the baseball game." I gotta stop there. They were talking about sports, but it's like so boring. He's like, "Oh, you hear about this guy Otani? He's like so crazy." And then the other guy's like, "Yeah, he is crazy. Like, I can't believe I've never seen anybody like this." It's just like, sometimes when I guess it kind of makes me feel good. Like, well, even if I don't have like friends or anything, like, I'm not missing out on much, because that's what I'm missing out on, is like just someone to say like, "Hey, this Jacob deGrom guy's pretty good, right?" And then the friend's just like, "Yeah, it's crazy how good he is." And then that's it. I don't know. It's crazy. I don't know. This is so obvious, but it's like so many people. Like, there's so many people. There's 15,000 people at the game. I was walking past all of them, and I was like, "Look at all these people." And I'm like, there's so many people in the world. There's like 10 million people that live in Mongolia. Have you ever met someone from Mongolia? There's so many people. They're just all around. Too many, if you ask me. Okay. See you tomorrow.